Skills were created by means of a computerizing process and educational centers. This should take around 3 years according to our objectives. Today, we have 10% of educational centers connected to this network throughout our country. Thus, we have policies for teachers and students to have access to telematic services according to the educational level. They can access the networks, they can prepare contents, and also classes using the internet as a tool to favor the education as well as enriching the learning experience. Everything that is used in the teaching process, which would be the center of all educational activities held in schools throughout the country. On the other hand, we can want many things, but we also need the necessary equipment. Otherwise, these ideas would just be ideas and would not be put into practice. Our ministry has invested a lot of resources, and now Engineer Dairo, my colleague who is responsible for the entire computer infrastructure of the ministry, will share with you the forecast for equipment and what we have done so far with the help of many friends and with a lot of willpower to work and develop this computer program within the Ministry of Education. Later, I will comment what we are doing with regard to content management. Good afternoon. Our ministry wants to connect all educational centers in the country as a long-standing goal. We are working with the telecom company ITEXA in Cuba. We have already connected 10% of all educational centers in the country. However, we provide services to many students and professors, such as email, internet services, telephony services, conference calls, and cloud data storage services. We also have application services. Also, we have an educational portal. And for next year, we plan to include all high school institutions so that students can develop the necessary qualifications to seek information and navigate the internet, because this will be a key tool for research purposes. Our ministry has invested significantly throughout 5 years many resources to invest in state data centers to improve the quality of our services for local users, thereby facilitating network access and access to services. Our system is structured based on free software or general license software because we cannot buy many licenses because of the U.S. embargo. Currently, our national system uses a BLAE system. There we have the entire virtualization structure and all the telecom infrastructure of the national educational system. The internet service currently generates 900 giga of traffic, which is considered quite sizable. And professors and teachers, they have more and more access to this service. Cuba has an average of 100,000 international visitors and 50,000 Cuban visitors. To prepare this information, and this is what we currently have in terms of technology. We have the computing laboratories, the network, the Remix, which is the name of this ministry network, and we also have developed the portal, which is the pride and joy of the ministry. In the site, there are many contents, such as the methodology treatments, how to prepare the Cuban curriculum classes from the first semester all the way up to the end of high school. All schools in the country still do not have connectivity, and they do not have all the telematic services available. But based on the premise of the revolution that education should be inclusive and that all have the right to receive the same, we have sought many alternatives. Since we have the portal and it is taken to all schools, we use DVDs. We record all subjects in the portal. We have all the videos with all the contents. These DVDs are delivered to the school by means of LAN networks, and all the contents is there. So students in a school that is not connected will not lag behind when compared to students studying in connected schools, so they can access all content. There are local servers to access emails and seek local portals as well. Why is this content so rich? This content is peculiar. Not when we see the experience of other continents and other regions, we see that these are the same. The companies, they produce these contents. Today we have a strong point in Cuba. The contents produced for Cuban schools are developed by Cuban professors with 15 or 20 years of experience and for Cuban teachers based on student interests. This is the great strength of the country. It's not a programmer who develops material for this program. No, pedagogues and teachers develop this program. These are teachers who have all the educational foundations to develop this content, who put information on the portal. Independent of the portals, there are also connections to educational software packages to promote learning and to help navigate by means of all these products. And there's also a connection that is called the country's history, showing the highlights of Cuban history and the discovery of our country. There are more than 89 media products, and another line is the production of virtual visits. Students that are from a given geographical region can visit museums in other parts of the country or the world without physically going there. So this is currently what we offer in our educational system. Those 10% connected schools are not limited to the use of social networks. Internet use is used to seek information. We also encourage projects like the one I will just show you. This project is called telling or storytelling in the classroom. Children use Facebook, Twitter, and elementary schools in some states of the country are able to do projects in collaboration with other cities in Latin America, like San Jose de Costa Rica, Managua in Costa Rica, and also communicate with friends in Mexico and Colombia. And they do this for a specific project. Since 2010, we have this project of partnering classrooms. Cuba has participated in this and won twice this award, and they started then their own project. We then invited schools from other Latin American countries and named this Joining Classrooms. So students, by using social networks and seeking information on the web, can develop projects by means of exchange programs. They can exchange maps, for example, and they can share media like short videos, and later they will present this to a judging committee, which gives them the opportunity to develop skills in terms of research, develop skills to meet the Millennium Objectives of building these skills. So this is the Cuban experience of how, with few resources, it was able to massify these resources using the Ministry of Education laboratories. I would also like to add that today, at the end of 2015, we have 26,000 professors with complete internet access to search information and to process content in lieu of the education in the country. So this is our experience over the last 5 years. This only working with 10% of connected schools. Next year, we will increase this number, and we hope that all schools of the national educational system should be connected by means of this network, thanks to political willpower as well as social willpower in our country in terms of internet use. So we want to improve the quality of education in our country. We apologize. We wanted one state of Cuba to participate remotely, which is developing this project of joining classrooms. But due to technical reasons, it was not possible to have this link available. Therefore, we would like to start a Q&A session now, and we will try to respond to all of them. Thank you very much for your attention.
Ahí estamos viendo un
We can see a video on how this teaching process occurs in some schools. These are images from computer laboratories, and we can see the students working on this project, joining classrooms. All students share content, they work in a network, and exchange content with students in Colombia who are also part of this project, as well as students in Mexico, etc. Now, the floor is yours.
So, Cuba, I understand, has a
Eu entendo que Cuba
the Cuban workers are involved in developing software technology now, and also, do you have any problems, or what problem do you have as far as the role of U.S. multinationals like Google and Facebook and others? What is their role in Cuba, and what's going to happen? What do you see happening as far as the role of these big ITC companies in Cuba?
Bien, hoy el Ministerio de Educación de cara
Today, the Ministry of Education in Cuba, I am referring specifically to my sector. In the ministry, we have a network for producing educational software, especially in the education universities. And here, of course, we work together with the researchers to develop software. And in the end, we work together with designers and programmers as well. They give the final shape to this educational software that also reflect years of research and that try to address specific problems according to the levels of education they are destined for. You were talking about some of the limitations we experience. Unfortunately, our relationship with the United States is a process that will take time and that will evolve gradually. It's not something that will change overnight. Even though the embassy was opened, there are many laws restricting the relations between Cuba and foreign companies. In the specific case of Google, as you were saying, there are many applications available from the Play Store that we are unable to download. Those are educational apps that we cannot use because they are forbidden. The IP protocol of Cuba is banned, and we are actually in disadvantage in comparison to other countries. So we're now evaluating the validity of those apps and the possibility of implementing them in our educational system. Did I answer your question?
Boycott, economic boycott of Cuba.